Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. And I want to say to everybody, good afternoon. I just want to talk to you all for a few minutes about the question that has been looming over the past week and a half, and it's about the New Orleans Saints and answering the question, are the Saints in rebuild mode? Uh, Not going to be long or anything like this. I don't even want to call this an official podcast right now, but this is something that just been on my mind. I'm at the radio station right now, just reading a few articles about the New Orleans Saints. And General Manager Mickey Loomis had his end of the year press conference, and he was talking about Drew Brees. And everybody anticipating, Drew Brees to retire this offseason. So, you know, Mickey Loomis said that he's going to be waiting on Drew to make his decision. The New Orleans Saints organization are waiting for Drew Brees to make his decision. And, regardless to if Drew Brees retires or not, they're definitely not going to be in rebuild mode. That's something that Mickey Loomis said. He talked about the confidence that he has in his roster. He talked about how he feels like this roster has all the pieces in place to be a credible franchise and a credible football team going into the 2021 season in late August or September. But look, man, I understand why Drew Brees hasn't come out and made his decision yet. I just know Drew Brees as a classy individual. Drew Brees is a guy who have a great integrity, and I just feel like Drew Brees doesn't want to be the topic of conversation going into Super Bowl week. I just feel like he didn't want to be the topic of conversation going into the playoffs. Somebody of Drew Brees' magnitude decides to hang up the cleats. I mean, that's a huge deal right there. The fact that he's the all-time leading passer, over 80,000 yards passing, has all the statistical passing records that you can think of. So, if he does retire, that's probably going to be taken away some of the attention away from the guys that actually deserve the attention right now. And that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs getting ready for Super Bowl 55. So I can completely understand Drew Brees' logic and thinking. But Mickey Loomis, one thing that I felt like, didn't need to be said. And, I understand this can be a tad bit controversial, but it is what it is, man. Him saying that they're waiting on Drew Brees. I think we all see the writing on the wall here. I think we all understand what's happening. Drew Brees, a 42-year-old quarterback with very limited arm strength, can't get the ball down the field, can't push the ball, still extremely accurate and still good on time, on task and all that. But at the end of the day, I think it's time for us to move on. I want the New Orleans Saints organization to move forward. I want the Saints organization to try to find themselves the next quarterback for the future. And I want to thank Drew Brees for everything that he has contributed to this team. I stand by what I said, man. It has absolutely nothing to do with my personal opinion about Drew Brees, because I think very highly of Drew Brees. I'm looking at this strictly from a business perspective and where I want the New Orleans Saints to go, because I plan on being a Saints fan for the foreseeable future, and probably until I'm dead and gone, There ain't no probably about it. I am going to be a Saints fan until I'm dead and gone, but, I'm more concerned about the future of this franchise and not the nostalgia act that has become Drew Brees. Yes, I'm calling it a nostalgia act because that's how some of you Saints fans are acting like this is. You're so hell-bent on this nostalgia act that is Drew Brees that you're not seeing what everybody else is starting to see. You got some of the biggest Drew Brees apologists out there that are saying, well, you know what, TJ, maybe you're right about coming up with this concept. Maybe it is time to move on. And some of us are still living, in the past, still talking about what he did back in 2012, 2013, and 2009. But look, I don't think about it like that. I know how to decipher, the fact that Drew Brees has been the greatest New Orleans Saints to ever play and put on the Saints uniform, they ever put a fleur-de-lis on the side of the helmet. But I also can say that the New Orleans Saints need to move on from the Hall of Fame quarterback, because I'm looking at the fact that the Saints are going to be a franchise, way down the line and Drew Brees' career is all said and done. So we definitely need somebody that can come in, that can contribute and help this team get to where they need to be. Now, rather that is Jameis Winston, I don't think that is Taysom Hill. I apologize for that. I just don't. Or is it somebody else that you can get out of free agency? Maybe a Matthew Stafford or Aaron Rodgers. Or maybe you can get a young kid in the draft, probably somebody like Trey Lance, out of North Dakota State, or Mac Jones out of Alabama. You never know. But I'm just looking forward to the future of the New Orleans Saints. And I just think that it's just time to move on, man. And if you're a real logical Saints fan, I think you would have to agree with me. This has absolutely nothing to do with, like, once again, what I feel about Drew Brees, because I love Drew Brees. But look, this is a production business. This is not a nostalgia business, okay? This is a production business, and it is, what have you done for me lately? And right now, the New Orleans Saints are, being handicapped because of the limitations of Drew Brees. I think anybody would have to agree with that. Go ahead and answer some of your questions. Let's start with T30. T30 says, a lot of these Saints fans becoming fans after we won the Super Bowl. Yeah, well, T30, that's not a surprise. Most people become fans because of the success of a team. That doesn't surprise me at all, and I don't knock fans for that. You think people were sitting up here being Golden State Warrior fans when there was back in the day when Latrell Sprewell, Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullin, and crew was on the team? Absolutely not. Were they fans when Monte Ellis was the point guard? Absolutely not. But when you have a light-skinned cat named Steph Curry and another light-skinned cat named Klay Thompson, and he calls themselves the Splash Brothers, and they winning 3 championships, all of a sudden everybody is starting to crowd around their team and saying, hey, man, I like myself some Golden State Warriors. And then you have your worldwide LeBron travelers out there who travel alongside LeBron James. So it don't really surprise me that guys become fans when teams start to put a winning product on the field. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way that it goes. It's like life. You have that cat that's probably standing outside the gas station that got them bars. You know what I'm saying? He out there with his CD, saying, man, you give me $5, check out my CD. You probably just walk right past him, you know what I'm saying? But you see him probably 2 years from now, you know what I'm saying? He's shining, you know what I'm saying? He got that record deal, you know what I'm saying? The next thing you know, you buying 2 and 3 of his copies, or you buying 2 or 3 of his streams, you know what I'm saying? Like, streaming his music. So it's no surprise there, man. People just like a winning product, you know what I'm saying? That's just the way that it goes. I think any real person would have to agree with that, you know what I'm saying? So people that became fans of the New Orleans Saints when they start winning, I don't have a problem with that, because that's how relationships start. You know what I'm saying? With franchises. You know what I'm saying? It starts when you put a winning product on the field, and the Saints put a winning product on the field. People start to invest in them, to invest in their success as well as their failures. So I don't have a problem with that. Let's scroll down a tad bit. TJ, a lot of Drew Brees fans, not Saints fans. Well, I disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of the people are Saints fans. There are Drew Brees fans. But I just think that, if you've been a Saints fan for a long time, you got tired of losing. You're watching the New Orleans Saints on television every single week, and you seem to know that it was inevitable that the Saints were about to get blew out. But now that you have a little inkling of success, you know what I'm saying? And that success came at the arm and on the back of number 9, you feel like you forever indebted to him because, the success and the legitimacy he brought to this organization, which I can understand. But at the same time, man, New Orleans has to understand, Saints fans have to understand that Drew Brees isn't the New Orleans Saints. Yes, he is the New Orleans Saints when you look at it from a cultural standpoint, but when it comes to an organization where guys got to get paid and bread got to be put on the table, and food got to be put in the mouths of these guys in the organization, he is not. And people just need to understand that. That's all I'm saying. I think they are Saints fans. I just think they come from a line of Saints fans that saw what the New Orleans Saints used to be, and we used to be a laughing stock, and we used to put the bags on our heads, you know what I'm saying? And people used to be embarrassed to have a Saints shirt on. And now it's like, okay, I'm proud to be a Saints fan. I can wear my Saints jersey. I can wear my Saints hat walk out in the streets and still talk smack to some of these other teams because my team been legit. Which, you know what I'm saying, I feel like the Saints fans out there, I don't feel like they have the confidence in the organization, which I feel like that's a shame. You got to have faith in your organization that they can move on no matter what. I mean, you look at somebody like Jimmy Graham back in the day, right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody thought when the Saints moved Jimmy Graham for Max Unger, you know, people was like, man, you know what I'm saying? We need Jimmy Graham. He was putting up that production. You know what I'm saying? Then, you know, when Reggie Bush left, people like, man, Reggie gone, man. What we going to do now? You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the screen game and catching the ball out of the backfield. And then in comes Darren Sproles. And we like, okay, Marcus Colston, you know what I'm saying? He's starting to wear down. Like, what we going to do then? And then comes Michael Thomas. So I think we need to have that same energy and that same faith in our organization that they brought a new generation of in a different cast of characters to this organization. I think we need to have the same faith in them when it comes to Drew Brees. And look, I understand that watching Drew Brees play the quarterback position was magical. You know what I'm saying? It brought you to your feet. You know what I'm saying? It also brought tears to your eyes. You know what I'm saying? To some of those, you know, late game heroics. Rather, it was win, lose, or draw. But, you know, I mean, everybody has an expiration date no matter what you're doing. Eventually, you're going to slow down. Eventually, Father Time is going to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, man, it's time to go with me. You know, but I appreciate Drew Brees, but we just have to separate the two. We have to separate our love for Drew Brees, and we also have to separate our love for the organization that is the New Orleans Saints. So that's just my opinion on that. Clarence, thank you very much for the $10, my brother. I really do appreciate that. I'll be ripping them. Thank you very much for the $2 says SOTS, punk. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, SOTS, man, representing the state of the Saints, man. And you all can get your State of the Saints podcast hoodies, man. All you got to do is just inbox me for more details, man. So if you want to wear some State of the Saints podcast hoodies or shirts or anything like that, just hit me up, inbox me on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? I give you the information that you need. If, you know, you can purchase a hoodie or purchase a shirt or purchase some of the other stuff that's about to come out, man. So be on the lookout for it, man. If you're interested in it, you know, just go ahead and hit me up and I'll give you more details. Drew will come back, sign for a 1-year deal, but retire in June to free up cap space. Well, John, look, he already contractually obligated for another season. You know what I'm saying? He signed a 2-year deal. So if he was to come back, that would be a part of his deal. So he already signed another deal. So, I mean, he signed a 2-year contract, so there's no need to sign another one. Clarence says, TJ, you're continuing to preach as you did earlier this week. I agree with you 1,000%. Just see Belichick on the way he runs New England over the last 30 years. Yeah, man, that's a good point right there. You know, you look at people like Chandler Jones. He was extremely productive for New England. Now he's out there in Arizona. You think about Richard Seymour, who was extremely productive. You know, he got shipped out there to Oakland. You know what I'm saying? You look at some of these other cats, you know what I'm saying, like Chow, you know what I'm saying, like when Patrick Chung, he left and went to the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I'm saying? It was a revolving door. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to, you know, trading guys a year too early than a year too late. You know, and even with Tom Brady right now, which I feel like, you know, you can like Tom Brady or you don't have to like Tom Brady. But one thing is for certain, Tom Brady for the last 20 years has put New England on his back, and he has been the most winningest quarterback. And, you know, I think I'm going to have to go ahead and say, man, the greatest quarterback of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like when it comes to, like, you know, just going out there handling up on his business. But for him to get traded and you know what I'm saying, not traded, but him to get released and go to another team, I mean, I don't think there's a quarterback out there. I don't think there's a player out there that's an exception to the rule. You know what I'm saying? Like if they slow down, I don't feel like there's a player out there. When I see Tom Brady playing in Tampa and he brought 6 championships to New England, I don't feel like there should be an exception to the rule at all. at all. I mean, it don't get no better at the quarterback position than Tom Brady from what I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta concede to that. 43 years old, man, and man going to his 10th Super Bowl. Like, man, you know what I'm saying, you can dislike Tampa or whatever, but you gotta pay respect 10 Super Bowls, man. And he playing on a different team. He went to 9 with one team. I don't think anybody is an exception to the rule. I started following you. I started following you because of Jameis. I'm a huge fan, and I hope the Saints are going to keep him as their quarterback for the future. Well, Jameis Winston has a lot of talent. He has a lot of upside, great ability, great skills. Just have to cut down on the interceptions, man. Look, this guy was picked first pick overall for a reason coming out of Florida State. He's won on every level. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. He's a national champion. I just feel like he had too much pressure on him in Tampa. Tampa was a snake-bitten franchise that really didn't put much around him to succeed. And then, you know what I'm saying, you get yourself a coordinator / head coach in Bruce Arians that wants to push the ball, but you don't put a running game behind him. Like, that's kind of hard to do, So I just think that the pressure of not being the guy, being the number one guy in an organization, I think it would help Jameis tremendously. He no longer has to worry about, oh man, I got to put this franchise on my back. No, now he's just a contributor to a wide range of players that take on that task by themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like Lattimore probably feels that way. Michael Thomas probably feels that way. Alvin Kamara probably feels that way. They feel like they're putting the franchise on the back. So you are adding to the call. So it's not so much about the hopes and dreams and everything of the organization is on your shoulders like it was in Tampa. So I just think that pressure being alleviated off of him, I think that I think that will help him tremendously to develop and become a quarterback that he needs to be, because now you have patience on your side. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're first pick overall going into a franchise, there's a very small room for error. You know what I'm saying? People want instant results. And if you're not giving them instant results, they're like, man, we made a mistake. So I think he will be afforded this chance now that he was, picked up by the New Orleans Saints. Saying goodbye to Drew Brees is also saying goodbye to an era, but it's definitely the right thing to do for the team. Saints fans forever. Well, yeah, it's definitely the end of an era, but just like everything else in your life, man, it's about seasons, right? You think about when you were a kid growing up, running around, mom and daddy telling you to come in the house, you know what I'm saying, when the street lights come on. That was one era, you know what I'm saying? You get a little older, you know what I'm saying, you graduate from high school, that's one era, right? You know what I'm saying? Some of my listeners and viewers out there probably went to college, you know what I'm saying, and you graduated. That's another era, you know what I'm saying? You go to work, you find yourself a career, that's another era, you know what I'm saying? Like you have kids, you know what I'm saying? You start a family, that's another era. So, you know what I'm saying? Life is like that sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But you think about it, you look back on those times, you think about those times when you was a kid, right? You playing basketball on that crate, you know what I'm saying? Like you nailing that piece of board to a crate, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking to my people from the hood now. I couldn't afford basketball goals like myself. You think about those times, man, when you took that milk crate, you know what I'm saying, and nailed it to that wood and made a basketball hoop with it, right? You think about that time, you know what I'm saying, you was in the street, you know what I'm saying, playing football on, you know what I'm saying, in the middle of the street, you know what I'm saying, everybody yell out car time, you know what I'm saying, you get out the way. You remember those times, right? And you cherish those moments, you know what I'm saying? And you take them with you, you know what I'm saying? But, as an adult at 34 years old, like myself, or, you know what I'm saying, if you're a little older, a little younger, you know what I'm saying, you cherish those moments. You don't take them for granted, but you understand that you can't do those things anymore. We appreciate Drew Brees for what he's done, man. Like I said, he brought legitimacy to this organization. Anybody that's been a Saints fan longer than 15 years, you already know, man. It wasn't good being a Saints fan during that time, man. It was so frustrating that you watched other teams, win Super Bowls, become champions, and you just wondered to yourself, would you ever see this in your lifetime? And you would laugh at the pain of Buddy D, you know what I'm saying? Listening to him on the radio, you know what I'm saying? Bringing in voodoo witch doctors and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Trying to reverse the curse of the New Orleans Saints and stuff. I mean, it was just all type of stuff. You found yourself going through a roller coaster of emotions. And finally, when you have legitimacy and real, legit shots at Super Bowls, man, you want to keep that same feeling. But look, man, you got to have confidence in this organization. I feel like a lot of people have more confidence in Drew Brees than his organization, but you may not want to admit this, but this organization brought in Drew Brees. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, Drew Brees took a chance, coming to New Orleans, but New Orleans also took a chance on Drew Brees because, Drew Brees was a quarterback that was, damaged goods in some circles. Okay. So I think it goes both ways. We need to have that same type of confidence that we can find somebody that can give us that, some production and get us where we need to be. I won't say to be like Drew Brees because there will never be another Drew Brees, but for somebody to carve their own path and give us, some more moments that we can cherish. You should add Punk to your intro. This is TJ, the host of the State of the Saints, Punk. I'll be ripping them. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Said I should add Punk to my intro. Nah, I don't want to do that, man. Then I'll be stealing your stuff. I'll be ripping them. I can't steal your shine now. I already got too many people out there already saying that I'm looking at other people's podcasts and biting from them. So I don't need to be biting from nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want nobody to think that, oh man, man, you biting. Like I don't understand that, man. Like I find it funny. You know what I'm saying? I find it, I take it as a compliment, and you know what I'm saying, and I take it as an insult at the same time. Because number one, just because your boy good at what he do, don't mean I gotta bite off anybody. And then if you think about the way that this show is structured, how in the hell can I bite off anybody? Most of the time I'm going down the timeline answering questions and reading comments. So how in the world can I bite off anybody? You know what I'm saying? Like that makes absolutely no sense, man. Look, I'm kind of offended by that. You know what I'm saying? I take a lot of pride in what I do. I like the fact that I can shoot from the hip. I don't come here with no script or anything like that in front of me, man. I don't even know what I'm gonna say most of the time. I just hit live and I just start talking. And I take a lot of pride in that, man. So when people say, man, I'm biting off people, man, like that's crazy. You ever thought maybe, other people, just feel the same way that I do. It's not hard. Some of us feel the same way, right? About a lot of things. That don't mean that we biting off each other. That just means we kind of feel we're on the same wavelength. Ramsey says, TJ, I have a friend who does a lot of wrestling content in W Balls, but if you want a dude on let me see, on your show under wrestling podcast, is one of my good friends. He keeps a lot of wrestling content. Ramsey, what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, I would love to have him, and talk about wrestling. Man, I'm going to be so happy on Friday to do the wrestling podcast, man. I'm actually going to change things up. I'm going to do a Royal Rumble prediction show, man. And the reason I'm going to do this is because my 10-year-old nephew, he called me and he was talking about the Royal Rumble, right? For those that follow wrestling, the Royal Rumble is this Sunday, and he's really excited about it. So I was like, you know what, man? You can come on the show. You can come on the wrestling podcast, and we can talk about how you think the Royal Rumble is going to go, man. And the way that he lit up and how excited he was, man, I'm like, man, I got to do a show with him. You know what I'm saying? So if you follow TJ Knows Wrestling Podcast, I'm going to have a special guest. I'm going to have my 10-year-old nephew, Kalen. He's going to be my guest on the show, and he's going to be talking about the Royal Rumble. So, look, man, I had to change it up. I know I said I was going to profile Chris Benoit, but we're going to push that back, man. And, my little nephew, he was so excited about this, and, I'm definitely going to have him on the show, man. So if you're into wrestling, you follow TJ Knows Wrestling Podcast, check it out, man. My nephew Kalen gonna be the special guest, man. That made me feel good, man. We talked maybe like 30, 45 minutes yesterday about how he feel about some things. So my special guest, once again, my nephew Kalen, man. Y'all check it out. TJ, how you feel about Mickey Loomis saying they're waiting on Drew? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't feel like you should be waiting on anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't understand. Like, why would you want to bring him back? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like, man, you just gotta move on. Okay? You just gotta move on, man. Like, why are you waiting on that? You know what I'm saying? I guess out of respect for him and stuff like that. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, if he says he's gonna come back, then you tell him, Drew, we gotta move forward, something like that. But I don't know, man. Why are we waiting on this, man? We like, come on, bro. Like, I just think that when it comes to a point where you got to bring in another quarterback to throw the ball down the field, man, because your starting quarterback can't do it. I mean, you see that like second, you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the first half, you might see a quarterback that got a stronger arm throw a Hail Mary down the field. But just every time you want to throw a deep pass, man, you bringing somebody else out. Like I feel like you're starting to grow to your wide receiver corps. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like it's time, bro. It's time. I love him. Like I love Drew, but it's time, man. Like for real. Like you teams shouldn't have to like compensate. You know what I'm saying, for your limitations like that. You know, and throwing the ball down the field is a huge deal. You know, it's a huge deal for a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a huge deal. You have to be able to do that. You can't just be nickel and diming it down the field, man. You know, like you can't do that. TJ not worried about the Chiefs. Well, you know, I mean, I think it's gonna be an interesting game, and I think it helped the Bucks that they actually had opportunity to play them. Play them earlier in the season. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game, man. DJ, I'll get up with my friend real quick, and I'll let you know. Okay, I think you mean I think you was talking to me on that. Just let me know, Ramsey. TJ, what you think about Sean Payton? I like Sean Payton a lot. You know what I'm saying? I think that anybody that's criticizing Sean Payton or think that Sean Payton is the reason why the Saints not doing anything, I think you sadly mistaken. Me personally, I don't think he might not come out and say this, but I think Sean Payton is excited for life outside of Drew Brees. Not for like, oh man, I'm glad he gone, but I think that it will rejuvenate Sean Payton. I really do. I think that sometimes like you get a little bit complacent when you got that same, you know what I'm saying, that same system and stuff like that. It's almost like if you've been on a job for like 5 to 10 years. I mean, which he has been, right? I mean, you clock in, you know what I'm saying? You know where everything is. You know how to do your job forwards and backwards. You know what I'm saying? You know where the duck off spot's at, right? You know everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what time the boss going to come in. You know what I'm saying? You know when he going to show up. You know what his car looks like so he won't, surprise you or shock you or anything like that. And, like, let's just say you end up leaving that job, right? You end up leaving that job and it's like new territory. You know what I'm saying? Your eyes become a little bit wider. You become a little bit more alert. You know what I'm saying? You pay attention a little bit more to details because you're learning. And I feel like that's the same way with Sean Payton. I feel like Sean Payton, looking at, you know what I'm saying, a brand new team, you know what I'm saying, teaching a brand new quarterback, I think that he's up to the task. And like I said, I don't think he'll ever come out there and say that, but I think he is, man. And I think Sean Payton over the last couple of years has done some of his best coaching jobs. Man, look at this season, man. Like, look how many people got injured. Look how many positions guys, you know what I'm saying, position guys that we count on to win week in, week out was out with injuries and COVID. And yet Sean Payton still chugged along. Do you understand, like, how hard that is, man? Like, for you to lose your Hall of Fame quarterback, to lose your offensive player to your wide receiver, to lose your free agent wide receiver, to play without your number one or your number two cornerback, and yet you win 12 games. Like, anybody that's around here criticizing Sean Payton, man, y'all are tripping. Like, I don't understand it, man. Like, I don't. Yeah, this is like, I think anybody that's out here like skeptical or afraid about life outside of Drew Brees, I think Sean Payton over the last 2 years has given us great confidence that we can be successful without number 9. I'm just being serious, man. The defense has improved. Offensively, you know what I'm saying? We got weapons, you know what I'm saying? That we ain't got to worry about Drew Brees throwing for 300 and 400 yards. Or we got receivers, we got running backs. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would we be sitting up here concerned? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand it. We're 8-1 in the last 2 seasons without Drew Brees. So for us to feel like, well, the Saints can't put a winning product on the field without Drew Brees, I just think, excuse me, but that's kind of asinine. You know, like, it's been proven. Maybe you're not paying attention to it. Maybe you don't want to see it. Maybe you have not seen it. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, you've taken it for granted. But I think that Sean Payton over the last couple of years has done an outstanding job coaching. Probably some of his best coaching, in my opinion. I think people need to give that man some credit. Like, we sit up here and talk about his play calling, but for a guy to switch it up from, you know what I'm saying, Drew Brees, who's a statue in the pocket, to Taysom Hill to coming up with a game plan for him and still only lose one game with Taysom at quarterback. He goes 3-1. Come on, man. Like, come on, man. You got to get that man some credit. You got to. TJ is a prodigy of Nick Underhill, so he knows what he's talking about. Look, shouts out to Nick Underhill, but I'm definitely not a prodigy of Nick Underhill, man. Look, Nick Underhill does an outstanding job. I mean, no doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he the creme de la creme when it comes to Saints reporting. Okay, I really do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad to, you know what I'm saying, be able to call on Nick and, you know what I'm saying, him come on the show. Good, solid dude and stuff like that, man. But I'm not nowhere in that ballpark when it comes to, like, you know, putting that information out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a fan that just love this team, been following this team since I was 4 years old. Okay, and I just come on here and I give you a lot of passion in what I see. And there's times where I'm way out in left field. You know what I'm saying? And it might end up being, you know, nowhere near what I said it's going to be. But at the same time, I just try to give you my all, man. But Nick Underhill is outstanding. I mean, he's the go-to guy for the, you know, for the news. NewOrleans.football.com. Make sure y'all subscribe to it. He does an outstanding job over there, and he puts his heart and soul into what he's doing over there with his podcast and his website. So I think in a lot of ways we are the same, but I think we're, you know, different also. You know, I can't give you the news that he does. I can't give you the plugs. You know what I mean? I don't have the plug that he got. You know, I gotta call him up, you know what I'm saying, to get information. So Tremaine says he was on his way here. Brady had home in LA or Louisiana. Brees didn't retire, so Tampa stole. He only did 1 year though. I think don't be surprised. Well, you know, it happens like that sometimes. Our team is good. They are Drew Brees fans, TJ. If we draft another offensive lineman, I'm going to cry. They help us, but I love watching young skill positions. Well, Tyler, look, I feel like the New Orleans Saints are going to be a better offensive line because I think life outside of Drew Brees is going to cause the New Orleans Saints to be a more run-dominant team. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to be relying heavily on their running game, which would explain the extension of Andrews Pete. Andrews Pete is a better run blocker than pass blocker. When the Saints are running the football, I don't think you can get no better than what they actually have on their offensive line. I think the year that Cesar Ruiz had was up and down, but he was playing guard position, something he haven't played since high school. So I think once him and Eric McCoy switch over, I think we're going to see better offensive line play. You already know what you got with Ryan Ramczyk. You already know what you got with Teron Armstead. You might want to start looking at maybe finding somebody that can kind of alternate with Teron Armstead. I mean, he's getting up there in age. So if you want to get yourself another offensive line late, maybe find somebody, a diamond in the rough like you did with a Teron Armstead. But besides that, man, I got confidence. You know, I think that the offensive line should be better next year because I think they're going to run the ball a little bit more. I mean, I think you should, you know, because especially like when you have a quarterback that's not going to be a 10-year, 15-year veteran inside of a Sean Payton system. Yes, I know that's why I compared him to, but Favre is very good quarterback, even though all the interceptions. Yeah, well, no, you got to just take the good with the bad. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing about with Brett Favre, there were more good moments than bad moments. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that when it comes to Brett Favre, it was just the moments in which the bad play came. You know what I'm saying? It came in like games when the Super Bowl was on the line, right? You know what I'm saying? But besides that, I mean, he was out there balling. But you have to take the good with the bad, and that's you know, that's the way that it goes sometimes. You know, but if you feel like you got that quarterback, then you roll with him. Stafford or Jameis? I would roll with Matthew Stafford, man. I like Matthew Stafford a lot. I think Matthew Stafford had just been in an organization boneyard that is the Detroit Lions, you know, and I just think that people just don't understand how good this guy actually is because he was out there in Detroit. But I definitely like Matthew Stafford. I think any team that he goes on instantly becomes a playoff contender. And if you put a defense and a solid football team around him, you might be a Super Bowl contender. Tyler says, "Who disliked the video fess up?" Well, who cares? Like if you don't like the content, oh well. You know what I'm saying? You can't please everybody, I guess. I keep Jameis. Jerry, like ain't nothing wrong with that OG. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with keeping Jameis. I mean, different stroke for different folks. And if they can't get Matthew Stafford and they want to roll with Jameis, I'm not mad with that. I think you can win some games with Jameis. Eugene Sutherland, you're talking like I'm a Buck fan, bruh. Okay. Yeah, well, I don't know what that's about. Are you opposed to the Mark Ingram reunion? No, I'm not. Like I said that earlier in the season when the first time he was a healthy scratch. I was like, man, what's going on here, man? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the problem is? I need to charge. I need to put this on the charger real quick. Y'all excuse me. I'm at 10%. All right, but anyway, yeah. Yeah, man, I was for it. Like when he was a healthy scratch the first time, I was like, man, they need to go ahead and put that man out there, to bring him back to the Saints. Some people are like, man, nah, bro, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave him out there. Not me, man. I like Mark Ingram. I just think that was just a miscommunication, and I think sometimes we forget, man. This is a business. NFL is a business, man. These guys got to be taking care of themselves, for years to come. You got to go sometime to a place that suits you. I just think that the running back room for the Baltimore Ravens just got kind of full. You got Dobbins out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Lamar Jackson, who also gives you, you know what I'm saying, a different dynamic. And, you look at Mark Ingram, he basically became, kind of a casualty, you know what I'm saying, like to a very stacked room. So, I mean, he took it in stride, though, which, you know what I'm saying, he won my respect because he didn't complain not one time, not to the media at least. I'm pretty sure when he got home, he probably wasn't a happy guy. But, for him to, like, rally behind some of those young guys and be on the sideline supporting them, and, that just shows you the character that Mark Ingram has. You love Matt. He's an old bum. Nah, he's not an old bum. Prove to me that he is an old bum. Go pull up his stats, pull up his stat line, put up his touchdown to interception ratio, and then we can talk. Sometimes we just got to look at the fact that, man, these guys be playing on some bad football teams, man. But anytime the Detroit Lions, had a relatively decent team, Matthew Stafford led them boys to the playoffs. And that right there, you cannot dispute. You know what I'm saying? Anytime they had like a decent defense, you know what I'm saying? And they always had like a consistent offense. This guy's led their team to the playoffs. So not gonna knock Matthew Stafford. I just think that he just had some bad luck. Marcus Ryan, I really like your pitcher background. Okay, giving a shout out to Marcus Ryan there. Mark Ingram, 100%. I think so too, bro. It would be nice if we were able to go get Stafford. Saints should trade for Watson. I disagree with that. That's way too much money, Buck Skull game. That's way too much. And you would have to move some things around, and that would set your team back. Okay. I mean, you gotta be batting them out the park, when it comes to the draft, if you want to get a guy like that. We would have won a Super Bowl in these last 4 years with Stafford on strength. I agree. Or we would at least win. I don't know, I don't know about win, but we would have won. I don't believe Matthew Stafford is a bum. I don't believe it either. Like I say, man, prove to me he a bum. You know what I'm saying? Like, prove to me that this guy can't play. I'm telling you, like, anytime they have a decent defense, a decent football team, this group bring them to the playoffs. So, and then on top of that, we talking about, man, this man getting hurt, but man, his offensive line's trash. You know what I'm saying? His offensive line was straight high garbage. Did you see Loomis say that he still thinks we should be contending for a title? I agree with that. It's not over. Like, I don't understand it. Like, why do we think that it's over just because Drew Brees retired? Like, y'all don't have any confidence in this football team? So y'all just think that it's just Drew Brees and nothing else? Like, these guys have been winning when Drew Brees been out the lineup. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand how people can look at the product the Saints have put on this field, and you watch the Saints play 9 games without Drew Brees over the last 2 years, and we're still having these conversations like the Saints just going to automatically just be slow. We sounding like Falcons and Carolina and Bucs fans right now. You know, that's what they think. That's the way they think, you know, because they team suck. They don't have depth. You know what I'm saying? They don't have positions that they develop. So they waiting on Drew Brees to have that press conference because they feel like, oh, once Drew retired, that's it for y'all. Well, I disagree with that. I disagree with that. And if you look at the Saints and the way that they play and the way they respond, when Drew Brees is out of the lineup, guys step up, they take accountability, they take the weight of the team on their shoulders, and they go out there and perform. So I ain't got no problem with that. And anybody that's just thinking, oh, all hope is lost because Drew is gone, you know, I dare you to take a look at some of the games that they actually played, the 9 games that they played without Drew Brees. This team went 8-1 in the last 2 seasons without Drew Brees. So keep dreaming. Okay. Well, this is my cousin once again, the biggest fair weather bandwagon hopping fan that you ever going to see. This dude changed teams like every single year, right? So I'm gonna tell y'all how bandwagon and how fair weather this boy is, right? So at the beginning of the season, when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was up and down, he put a status up talking about how Tom Brady is like, oh, well, you know, maybe Tom Brady and the guy, oh, I'm sorry, Tom, you old, right? So all of a sudden the Buccaneers start winning, and all of a sudden, like, you just see this whole shrine for the Buccaneers and Tom Brady. Meanwhile, like when the Kansas City Chiefs won a Super Bowl, he got profiles up and pictures up of them. He got a 49ers shirt on and hat on, which he tried to delete because, you know what I'm saying, he didn't want nobody to find out. He been jumping on bandwagons, and now he on the Tampa Bay bandwagon. He hopping on that train. So now he a Buccaneers fan. Now he talking about he a Tom Brady fan and all that kind of stuff there. But if the Kansas City Chiefs, and I want y'all to follow him if you can, Isaac West, if the Kansas City Chiefs end up beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, watch how he switch it up. And watch where if Tom Brady just so happen to retire, how quick he jump on Patrick Mahomes' bandwagon. I mean, he covered both sides here. But yet he finds a way. He finds a way to try to troll Saints fans and say, oh, man, you know, the Saints not good. But at least we consistent with it, okay? At least we going to be Saints fans tomorrow. Our fandom and our love is not just, you know, hooked to who winning and who hot right now, okay? So, yeah, you my cousin, and I love you. You know that, but you be hopping on bandwagons, my friend. You be on there, boy. You know what I'm saying? You got the trombone, you got the tuba in your hand, you got the snare drum, boy. You be joining a band, bro. You be in that band. I love him, man. You know what I'm saying? I love him, like, no doubt about it. I ain't about, you know, I clown him and stuff like that, but he be hopping on them bandwagons, man. He be tuning up the band now, and I ain't talking Shawn Michaels here. I'm gonna read 2 more, and then we're gonna get up out of here, folks. I'm Drew Brees, and this is the New Orleans Saints in my David Ruffin voice. Your cousin sound like one of them Steelers, Cowboy, Packer, Niner fans we always see at Dola Cast like that will never truly appreciate the feeling of this team winning. It's all because he has none. Well, like I said, man, he just be jumping on them bandwagons, man. It's just the way it is. I don't know, man. I just look, if you want to jump on the bandwagon, cool. But when you jump on the bandwagon and you laugh at the misfortunes of other teams, that's when I got a problem with it. I'm like, come on, man. Like, dude, you just riding the wave, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you in Santa Monica Beach right now. You know what I'm saying? You riding the waves right now. You know, like, nah, man. Like, cheer for who you want to, but don't bring that over here, man. Don't bring that over here. But thank y'all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. Also, once again, if you're interested in the State of the Saints podcast, shirts, hoodies, apparel, what have you, you can inbox me on Facebook, facebook.com, search the State of the Saints podcast, or you can go to Instagram, Twitter. I'm on Twitter at State of Saints, Instagram, TJ Jones _ just let me know, man. I'll give you details on that. Also, previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Anchor FM. And check out some of the other podcasts, man. The TJ Knows Wrestling podcast for all my wrestling fans out there. That's on YouTube as well, youtube.com, search TJ Knows Wrestling, and the State of the Game podcast available also, man. So Thank you all for supporting the other podcast projects. We're just trying to expand a little bit, man. Try to open up, give you all a different type of, different type of style. You know what I'm saying? I try to do podcasts based on my passions, man, more so than just be doing podcasts just because. So anytime I do a podcast, man, I try to give y'all a lot of passion behind it. Love wrestling, love sports. So if you can, man, I ask that you support the other outside projects outside the state of the Saints. I would really do appreciate that. Till next time, all I got to say is